Look around you right now. Everything you see, your phone, your house, the chair you're sitting in, someone risked everything to create it. Someone bet their reputation, their money, their time on an idea that could have failed spectacularly. But you're playing it safe. You're protecting what you have instead of going after what you want. And that's exactly why your legacy will die with you. Safe choices create forgettable lives. Right now, you're making micro decisions every single day that are killing your potential. You're choosing security over significance, comfort over courage, certainty over possibility. You tell yourself you're being smart or responsible. But what you're really being is afraid. Afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of losing what little you have. Meanwhile, the people you admire, the ones who built empires, changed industries, left their mark on the world, they understood something you don't. Your biggest risk isn't failing. Your biggest risk is never trying. If you're ready to stop playing it safe, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You're going to need this content when motivation runs dry. Let me break down what legacy actually means, because most people get this completely wrong. Legacy isn't about being remembered. It's about being worth remembering. What makes someone worth remembering is that they did something that mattered when it wasn't guaranteed to work. Every person you know by name from history took massive risks. They bet everything on uncertain outcomes. They chose the hard path when easier options existed. The founder of the company you work for, he risked his savings, his relationships, his reputation to build something from nothing. The artist whose music you love, she risked ridicule, poverty, and countless rejections to share her vision with the world. The athlete you admire, he risked his body, his time, his entire youth on the possibility of greatness. Risk is the entry fee for legacy. Without risk, you're just consuming what others created. You're living in their world instead of building your own. Most people build prisons and call them security. They get a job they hate because it pays the bills. They stay in relationships that drain them because being alone seems scarier. They live in the same place, think the same thoughts, follow the same routines year after year, and they wonder why life feels empty. Comfort cost you your potential. It cost you your growth. It cost you your chance to discover who you really are. Comfort is a slow-acting poison. It doesn't kill you quickly, it kills you slowly, one safe choice at a time. Every time you choose the easy path, you're voting for the person you are instead of the person you could become. But risk? Oh, risk forces you to evolve. Risk demands that you become more than you were yesterday. When you put something on the line, you engage parts of yourself that comfort never touches. You discover strength you didn't know you had. You develop skills that safety never teaches. Let's talk about what's really stopping you, F-E-A-R. But not just any fear. I'm talking about the fear that masquerades as wisdom. The fear that sounds reasonable. The fear that your friends and family will actually support. What if you fail? They ask. What if you lose everything? They worry. But they're asking the wrong questions. The right question is, what if you succeed beyond your wildest dreams? What if that business idea you've been sitting on becomes the next big thing? What if that creative project you're too scared to start touches millions of lives? What if that bold move you're afraid to make becomes the defining moment of your entire existence? Most people are so focused on protecting themselves from downside risk that they completely ignore upside potential. They don't teach you in school that the biggest risks in life aren't the ones you take, they're the ones you don't take. The risk of regret, the risk of wondering what if for the rest of your life, the risk of dying with your music still inside you. You think playing it safe protects you from loss, but you're already losing. Every day you don't take that risk, you're losing time you can never get back. Every week you stay comfortable, you're losing opportunities that may never come again. Every year you play it safe, you're losing the chance to become who you're meant to be. The clock is ticking. Your window of opportunity is closing. Your peak years for risk-taking are now. You're not going to be more ready tomorrow. You're not going to have more energy next year. You're not going to be braver when you're older. This is your time. This is your chance. This is your moment. And you're wasting it by waiting for guarantees that don't exist. Now, I'm not telling you to be reckless. I'm telling you to be strategic with your risks. Smart risk takers don't just throw caution to the wind, they stack the deck in their favor, they prepare, they plan, they position themselves for success, but they still risk. They risk their time on ventures that might not pay off. They risk their reputation on ideas that might seem crazy. They risk their comfort on dreams that might not come true. The difference between smart risk takers and reckless gamblers is this. Smart risk takers understand that the cost of inaction is higher than the cost of failure. They'd rather fail trying than succeed at something that doesn't matter. They'd rather risk everything for something meaningful than risk nothing for something meaningless. When you start taking meaningful risks, you compound your courage. Each risk you take successfully builds your confidence for the next one. Each challenge you overcome expands your comfort zone. Each time you bet on yourself and win, you increase your willingness to bet bigger next time. Risk-taking is a skill, and like any skill, it gets stronger with practice. The person who's never taken a risk can't handle big opportunities when they come. But the person who's been steadily increasing their risk tolerance, they're ready when the really big chances appear. Most people spend their lives preparing for opportunities that never come because they're not prepared for the opportunities that do come. Don't be that person. Look at anyone who's ever built something that outlasted their lifetime. They all have one thing in common. They risked everything for something bigger than themselves. They didn't play it safe. They didn't hedge their bets. They didn't have backup plans for their backup plans. They committed fully to their vision, even when nobody else could see it. Steve Jobs risked his entire career on products that didn't exist yet. Michael Jordan risked his baseball career to come back to basketball. Oprah risked everything to start her own network. None of them had guarantees. They had conviction. Legacy is built in the risk zone, where outcomes are uncertain but potential is unlimited. Right now, as you're listening to this video, you're at a crossroads. One path leads back to safety, comfort, and predictability. The other path leads into uncertainty, challenge, and possibility. Most people choose path one. They go back to their comfortable lives, their safe choices, their predictable outcomes. But you're not most people. You wouldn't be here if you were. You know there's something more. You know you're capable of something greater. You know you have something inside you that the world needs to see. The question isn't whether you can succeed if you take the risk. The question is whether you can live with yourself if you don't. Identify one area of your life where you've been playing it too safe. Maybe it's your career, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a dream you've been putting off. Whatever it is, take one meaningful risk this week. Not a life-destroying gamble, a calculated bet on yourself. Apply for that job you think you're not qualified for. Start that project you've been planning for months. Have that conversation you've been avoiding. Take the risk while you still can. Because here's the truth about timing. There's never a perfect moment. There's only the moment you decide to act. Your life is happening right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you're ready, right now. And right now, you have a choice. You can keep protecting what you have, or you can risk it all for what you could have. You can play it safe and fade into obscurity, or you can take the risks that legends are made of. You can die with your music still inside you, or you can risk everything to play your song. For the next 30 days, take one meaningful risk every single week. Start small if you have to, but start. Week 1. Risk your comfort. Do something that scares you. Week 2. Risk your time. Invest in something uncertain. Week 3. Risk your reputation. Stand for something unpopular. Week 4. Risk your security. Make a move toward your dreams. Watch what happens to your confidence. Watch what happens to your opportunities. Watch what happens to your entire life, because that's how legacies are built, with risks that matter, with courage that counts, with actions that echo through time. The greatest risk you can take is not taking any risks at all. The greatest failure is not trying. The greatest tragedy is having something meaningful to contribute to the world and taking it to your grave. You were not born to be safe. You were born to be significant. You were not created to consume other people's legacies. You were created to build your own. The world is waiting for what you have to offer, but it's not going to wait forever. No risk, no legacy. Now stop watching and start risking. If this video helped you, hit subscribe for more no-nonsense content on becoming the man you're meant to be. Comment below and tell me what one risk you're going to take this week. I read every single one.